Recording in progress.
Recording in progress. Hey, everybody. It's been a while since we've done one of these. I went through a career shift and some family stuff kind of came up. So I haven't really done one of these in about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
And that's why he's sleeping on my couch.
That's right.
Next to me.
Yeah. We spoon.
Yeah.
But these two guys are two of my best friends in the world. Dan Teisan and Jay Smith, and not only are they amazing guitar players, they're two of the funniest human beings on the planet. I love these guys, and this was my absolute bucket list for bringing this show back. Mm-hmm. These guys were top of the list.
Yep.
So let's talk about music.
That's from the bribes, though.
Yeah, it is.
It was more from just sending you gifts and things.
Yeah.
Frankincense and myrrh.
It
was an album.
Well,
two guys from the 70s, Frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah, they opened for Seals and Crofts quite a bit.
Yeah, and then he became the keyboard player for Yes. After
Well, 2 of the 5 keyboard players.
2 of the 5 keyboarders, but also not the one that had the Knights of the Round Table on ice. Which was like that ridiculous ice
I've seen that video.
What?
That video is
Rick Wakeman.
Tempe showed us this.
Rick Wakeman had
it was very late.
Knights of the Round Table on ice.
Yeah.
That he scored.
I'd absolutely go see that. I would absolutely go see that.
Now.
There's a one of my prized possessions is a interview disc from like 1995 where Dave Windorf from Monster Magnet is being interviewed on the radio by his then not officially girlfriend Shawnee Zolt from White Zombie.
Wow!
And she's been given questions, I think, by the radio station or whatever. But they start talking about specific records for specific purposes, and what she says what record would you use for Chinese water torture? He goes, "Oh, I'll tell you exactly what I would use." At one point, the keyboard player from Yes did a whole instrumental soundscape double album of his interpretation of Journey to the Center of the Earth. And it's guaranteed to drive any sane person within a 12-mile radius directly off of a cliff. That and some old Les Paul and Mary Ford tracks. And she just like involuntarily blushes. Oh my God, those records are so psychotic. So that's how I know Rick Wakeman was trying to do something to make money on the side.
Right.
So apparently he did a Knights of the Round Table treatment as well.
I mean, the amount of drugs involved in that decision.
Yeah, absolutely. But the self-indulgence to think that somebody would actually want to hear it.
No, I mean, as the drugs take hold, you know what a great idea would be?
Yeah.
Let's do King Arthur's Court. You know what would be better than that? Yes, and let's put it on ice skates.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I think that's a business conversation with your manager or your a guy that wants to be
That's a 4 a.m. conversation.
That's somebody that says, you can do stuff outside of this band. I don't care what your manager says. Conversation. I know some people that can make it happen.
Right.
And we can do it on my label.
Right. Oh, they'll love it.
It's like a subsidiary of Fantasy Records or something. Or Arista. What are those?
It's got to be, 76? That's
I think it was earlier.
Earlier than that?
I think it was a little earlier than that. And it's possible, but I think that was right around the time when they booted Wakeman and got Patrick Morantz in for one album. I waited on that guy once. Patrick Morantz, he came in, he's 78 years old, and he has this jet black thicket of black hair.
Yeah,
and I'm
totally natural.
I'm that looks really natural, dude.
Yep.
Oh.
And was he cool?
He was, he's a little full of himself, which was odd. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he was okay. Yeah, he was all right.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
I like when they're not total dipshits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that, are you eccentric because you're eccentric, or are you eccentric because you can now get away with it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I don't mind someone who's eccentric because they're eccentric.
Sure.
Because we've known people that live on the streets.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
are as hoity-toity and fussy as any rich person.
Right.
Yes.
Just
and there is
everything's got to be just so.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's those people.
It's that age old joke about what's the difference between being crazy and eccentric? like $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Generally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Well, that's gone up a bit. I
Probably.
I pulled the number out of my ass.
But I think
being rich is the
that's probably good for good for these days.
Yeah. If you're rich, you're eccentric. If you're broke, you're crazy.
But there's a lot of that shit. There's a lot of those fucking let's try this crazy idea from like that era, from like 68 to like 81, 82. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot like that whole Streets of Fire thing.
Yeah.
Like that. What a fucking loony. What Looney
anything
Tunes
with
that idea
Jim
was.
Steinman.
The Bat Out of Hell, and it's like, let's have a concept record that's almost it's almost a Broadway show, but not
right.
And it's like, why would you?
Oh, there's so much to do that.
Oh my
there's
god,
so much behind that.
I think there's so much fever over like, holy shit, Rocky Horror is still going.
Yeah.
In theaters and for like midnight showings. There's got to be more appetite for this kind of thing. And I mean, I had this unearned sort of a perception that Bat Out of Hell was a classic based on Wayne's World. They had a movie after the skit, and then they had a book based on the success of the movie, and then they had an MTV special to debut some of the videos from the movie soundtrack, and all that like Mike Myers-ishness,
right?
Like in a 2-year span was a lot. But
okay.
Through that, I got this impression as like a 14-year-old that like Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell is revered as like the greatest hard rock heavy metal record of all time, apparently, and Frampton Comes Alive is like super important,
right,
and things like that. And I didn't really get it, and then I got older, like, oh, this is maybe a joke about the character of Wayne Campbell,
right. It was a small town,
because it was a Canadian character.
Yeah,
originally.
it was a Canadian. You're right.
You can look up the original sketches.
But I mean,
they're pretty funny.
For its day, it sold a bazillion fucking copies.
It did.
People like that record, like out of fucking nowhere, and you know this whole story. You did all the research on this whole thing. That Steinman, they didn't expect it to go anywhere. And,
right.
They were out of money, and it was just this whole fucking crazy
thing. He completely
thing.
believes in every idea he's ever had.
Yeah.
Still to this day, they did the classic out. That web series, the classic albums.
Oh yeah.
The Bat Out of Hell one, and they interview Steinman, and he is so far up his own ass. He needs a flashlight. Oh my god,
a lunatic.
It is crazy how
but a fucking genius. I mean, I got to give it to him. Like I those songs as whether you like them or not, as catchy. A lesson in songwriting, like the dynamic and the arrangement and the way that he moves between verse and chorus, and then these breakdowns. It never he's repeating the same thing for 7 minutes, and it never gets old.
Yeah,
like that's
it's just
genius.
It's just pumping.
It's all dynamic and it's all hook and like where he takes it and when he changes a little bit, just enough. Like it's fucking brilliant. And I mean. His testament, they sold a bazillion copies of those records.
The other indicator I got was also from another rock and roll movie, Josie and the Pussycats, because that whole
which we need. I still haven't seen.
Okay, and that's Letters to Cleo, right? They did all the stuff. Kay Hanley did all the
Pussycat songs,
and
the whole soundtrack is original stuff for the movie, except one scene. And in the commentary track, the writer-directors, this man and woman team, were emphatic about this one scene that had to have Paradise by the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf.
Oh, okay.
And they said, we fought for this. We're like, we won't have to pay for any other songs.
Everything's original.
All we want is this one slow motion scene with smoke coming up and all the girls are walking across the street. Alan Cummings' character almost hits them with his car.
Okay.
And they all turn and it slows down and it's cold and lonely. I'd never heard the song before.
Oh, no
shit. Ever.
Oh, wow.
I've never heard that whole fucking record. I never.
Yeah.
I don't want to. But that's and they talk about it in the making of like oh my god, they made us look like goddesses because with the Meatloaf songs playing and it's perfect. And I was like, I guess there is something to this Meatloaf fandom that it was just a point in time.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a very specific point in time.
But to his credit too, like what a voice. Medically, biologically, what a voice. A range and the fucking power and just his talent, like
And
yes, he was over the top and a fucking ludicrous character, but holy shit, he could sing.
We need more of that.
Yeah,
anyway.
absolutely. Like you got to give it up to him. Like that's the great thing about him is like he's this sort of underdog because of the way he looks. Like he talks about it.
Yeah.
Like he didn't think anybody would pay any attention to him.
Yeah.
And Stein was just like the voice is unfucking deniable.
It's that combination of like you are the vessel for my ideas.
Yeah.
You are the speaker,
right?
And I am like the brain behind it, and I'm. You can convey all the things I can come up with that I can't physically do myself.
Sure.
I'll never be a rock star.
Sure. Right.
I'm
right.
Jim Steinman.
100%.
I need you,
and
Meatloaf.
And you look at what's her name? gorgeous chick from the Streets of Fire movie.
Oh,
what's her
Diane
name?
Lane.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Not until recently did I think she was hot. I did not until recently.
She doesn't take a
my
breath.
God, she looks
right
for 3.5 minutes straight in that opening
just sings
scene.
that fucking thing, and it's her too, right?
Yeah,
it's her singing it.
It is, yeah.
But also, I'm not buying it from her. I'm buying it from Meatloaf. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm buying it from Meatloaf. I'm buying those fucking words and those lyrics and all that shit. Like, I'm in. But from her, it's a performance.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, obviously, but
because the stance and the posing of the like as she's singing, you can tell
choreographed.
You can tell not only that, but like the way she's kind of blasting out the vocals. You can tell it's like that's not. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, right. It doesn't have the conviction that he has.
Yeah.
Like Meatloaf
some of that is
fucking Meatloaf. He commits to the bit.
Some of that is being young and attractive.
Yeah,
Meatloaf has to embody every single word he's saying.
Sure.
He's
absolutely
because he's got that turmoil inside. He's not a traditionally good-looking frontman in rock and roll.
Yeah,
this is the
absolutely.
era. This is still the Zeppelin era.
Yep.
People expect a golden god.
And he's got the blouse and he's doing the whole thing.
And he sweats profusely.
Yeah.
3 songs in, and you've got to wring him out.
Right.
You know.
And 100%. Did you ever see him? You ever see him live?
I didn't see him live, but I've seen like the concert video, and he does. He looks like a mess.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But damn, I mean, he sells it.
Sorry. Speaking of which, Scott Ian posted a thing today.
Oh yeah.
Pearl has a record.
Another one?
Is that I didn't know if she has her own thing.
She's got her own thing for a while, and they've formed another band partway through to put out an album.
Okay,
so yes,
is Meatloaf her dad?
Yes,
because I know
Meatloaf, rest in peace, was her father.
Yeah,
and to his credit, she is not a nepo baby because Scott Ian met her when she was a backup singer for Motley Crue in 1999.
Right. Yeah,
so she didn't get like an easy road to like, put my daughter in your movie, put my daughter on this Broadway show.
Well, she married the guitar player.
No, but she was at least working an honest like backup singer's gig.
Yeah, no, 100%
to pay her bills.
Do we still consider Scott Ian a guitar player, or is he now just one of those faces on all of the behind the music interview clips?
20 years ago, yeah, but no, he was. I will say this, people don't know
don't be fucking with Scott Ian.
I'm not saying he's not a talented guitar player, but what is his main income these days? Is it with Anthrax, or is it like doing like little interview clips talking about everybody else?
Well, in 2005,
that feels like
when they were going through a lull,
they do that.
And he was doing that. He did that band thing with Ted Nugent.
Oh my God! And Sebastian Bach.
Yes.
And
he was. We need to
Evan
rewatch
Seinfeld. Evan Seinfeld
and Tara Patrick was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
But poor Tara. I've never felt bad. I never felt bad for a porn star. But I'm like, oh, you were with Evan Seinfeld for how long? But he writes the lyrics for Anthrax.
Yeah.
Charlie Benante, the drummer, writes the riffs.
The guitar riffs.
He plays the riffs that Charlie writes.
Yeah, but
it's
Charlie,
amazing.
Charlie plays guitar too, because like Scott Ian, they were talking.
No, that's what I'm saying. Charlie writes the guitar
parts
and teaches them to Scott,
which is so fucking insane to me.
That is crazy.
I love that so much.
I
love that so much.
Yeah, I will give that.
Yeah,
I will give that a lot.
But he's just not as dumb as most metal guys. And he actually does give a good interview. Like my favorite thing he did on VH1 was it was 04. It was 04. I was in Hoboken, New Jersey, and VH1 had run out of stuff to talk about and make lists about.
Oh,
so
right.
they were down to 2 things. One, he wasn't in. It was like the fuggliest male rock stars of the top 10.
Right, sure.
And it was like, oh, it's
like 2004 VH1.
Chad Kroeger from Nickelback is so ugly, and I was just like, really? Are we reaching here? Like, I don't know. I'm not into fucking dudes, but I've seen worse than Chad Kroeger. I'm just saying. But anyways, but the one that Scott was in was like,
did you just cut out? I've seen worse than Chad Kroeger.
Just
send me that.
I'm just
and then superimpose me doing this with a shake weight.
I don't have to do shit. It's AI day. I just do it on my phone.
But they had one that was like the top 50 worst metal songs of all time.
Right.
Oh.
And one of them was Danzig's Mother, because someone at VH1 decided it was a bad song.
Right.
And he goes, and it's Scotty, all of it was mostly like dumb glam stuff that he didn't like.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like they asked like 5 rock dudes about how dumb this song is, and he's like, Danzig's Mother, is it Shakespeare? No. But it's better than most of the bullshit on this fucking list. What are we talking about? Like yeah, people. It's funny. Like people can go back now and talk shit about dumb like rock lyrics.
Yeah.
But it's fine to do that when you're in your 40s. But that's because you don't remember how dumb you were when you were 21 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
But
you don't remember what you were writing. If you had the balls to write a song, how awful it was.
No,
when you're in
fair.
your 20s.
But I mean, we got to leaving the cake out in the rain, and it was just fucking downhill from there.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had Bob Dylan. And we had the Beatles.
And MacArthur Park.
And then we hit MacArthur Park, and we left the cake out in the rain, and it's just been fucking straight downhill lyrically since then.
But who's singing it also, and what they look like at the time, because like Poison singing Cry Tough, you know.
This is your conversation.
I
don't even know this song. I don't even know what this is.
So Poison's first
this is
single
also
was
a
Cry
testament to how good friends we are. Is I've never made him listen to that song.
Oh, okay.
That's a mercy. It's mercy on my part.
I will say this.
I
will say this. When I was in 3rd grade, there was a babysitter who bought When the Cat Dragged In, and did play it around me.
Okay.
So I must have heard it once.
But
I couldn't tell you. All I know, he really liked. He really liked Talk Dirty to Me.
Right.
Yeah.
And he thought it was so hilarious. This kid is like 14 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Good Babysitter was his older sister.
Yeah.
When she wasn't available to watch me and my little brother, who's way younger than me, which is why I had a babysitter when I was
right.
He would show up and he kind of sucked, but he was like. My girlfriend called me, this girl that I'm kind of going out with. He's in like 7th grade or 8th grade. And he's like, right when I picked it up, the song was playing. It's I call you on the telephone.
Yeah.
And I was like, guess what, babe? Like, did you hear that? And she thought it was so funny. Like, anyways. That's my only Poison story.
Yep.
That's my
good
only
job.
Besides,
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
We can all go home.
So I know I heard When the Cat Dragged In.
Yeah. Look what the cat dragged in.
And I know I heard.
I'm crediting you that you don't even know.
Exactly. And I know I heard Raising Hell by Run DMC back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in 1999, I bought that record, Raising Hell, and I was like, "Yep, this is perfect.
Right.
I love this.
Yep.
I haven't heard it since I was in 3rd grade,
Yep.
and it's still awesome." And
Kings come, Queens from
I'll
Queens come.
give this back to you guys.
Oh,
But
Raising Hell.
I was so dumb as a 19-year-old or whatever I was. I went to a party with a bunch of people that I worked with at the time, and I was the only rock dude. I was the only long-haired dude. Everyone was like maybe only 2 years younger than me. And I was like, well, they're all into hip-hop. I'm going to bring the one record I have, CD I have, that's not NWA, because they probably, I don't know if they want to hear that at a party, these kids.
Right.
But I'll put this on, because it's hip-hop.
Right.
And this is like the era, this is like 90, this is like Fugees and Biggie Smalls. Right?
Yeah.
I put on fucking Peter Piper picked peppers. They're gonna rock round, humped up, fell down. That's his time. Was nibble, and he was quick. Jam that spread fast on Jay's dick. Now little bub, the cowbell bells on his feet. So, and they put up with this for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What the fuck is this bullshit you brought?" I'm like, "This is one of the foundational."
Right.
Yeah.
Hip hop groups of all time.
How dare you?
Never heard of Run DMC? Like, I don't know. Like, white kids that like hip hop don't like the history of music that influenced their music.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a shit.
Nope.
They just want to. They want to hear what's on the radio now.
Right.
That's their shit. They have no curiosity, and that's the thing about getting older too. The more you hang out with non-musicians, like, oh, normal people don't have curiosity about where things come from.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
There's no...
I don't care how I got it into my ear holes.
Yeah.
I just care what my ear holes feel when my ear holes are stimulated.
And I think it's also I want to know what art can do for me next.
Yeah.
Not, I want to know how someone came up with this wonderful thing that enriched my life.
No, that's why we end up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And back to the Poison conversation about...
Meanwhile, that's right, Poison, sorry.
What's the song?
Cry Tough.
Cry Tough.
But the irony of it is these guys are singing about crying tough when they're looking like supermodels. You know, they got plastered makeup on and the teased hair. And you look at the album cover, and the first time I saw the album cover, I thought it was the album cover for the Bangles
or Vixen or
because it was like the four girls in the squares, and I was like, oh, new Bangles album.
Nope. Those are dudes.
Nope. Oh my God, they are dudes.
My stepsister. This is the downfall of my musical direction. My stepsister came to visit us with all of her metal tapes. No, Mundy.
Mundy. Okay,
yeah, Mundy came to visit us as I was living in Thailand at the time.
Yeah,
and brought all of her metal tapes, and I was fucking. It was over for me. That shit was over for me. Immediately, I heard Twisted Sister, and it was like, oh, this is what I'm doing with the rest of my life. Yeah, this is a good idea. Even though I'm living in Bangkok, Thailand, fucking 16,000 miles away from anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, why was I telling this story?
Try Tough.
Thank you.
We're almost one person.
She's got posters in like magazines, like Hit Parader and shit. And there's Poison.
Oh wait, pause. Let me clarify my comment. When I say Dan and I are almost one person, I don't mean we are like joined together like that. I mean that between
separately,
our brains and our memories together equal the processing power of one human being.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Maybe they share a brain. It's
well,
it's a crapshoot on who currently has custody.
Yeah, it's a custody battle. She had Poison, and Poison. I remember looking at the Poison picture, and it was that era, but it wasn't that cover, but it was that era, and it was probably and then fucking Stryper, and I was like,
yes,
like Michael, what's his name, Robert Sweet, the drummer.
Yeah,
I was like, that's a girl. That's a girl. I'm 13 years old.
Yeah,
right? They had me convinced. And she's like, no. He's obviously he's a fucking monster drummer too.
He is.
But like from the picture and they did all the 80s like Playboy tricks and made them all soft focus and did all the lighting and shit.
Yeah, they did.
And they looked like they did.
They walked right right into the studio for photos right after Sybil Shepherd had left.
Yeah.
All the Vaseline was still on the camera.
Yeah, they just airbrushed the shit out of
That's a reference to you kids out there.
Yeah. That's a moonlighting reference.
Right.
Good job.
Light mooning.
Yeah.
Well done.
I get it now that I've watched enough like documentary footage of the 60s.
Yeah.
To see that how young and hot she was right out of the gate.
Right.
Like, okay, so 18 years later, you're kind of insecure about
trying to.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Like, she was gorgeous in the 80s, fucking
she was
flawless, but still, like, if you're insecure, okay. Because also she was hot in movies that were just all dudes. It was all cowboys and grizzly.
Oh, really?
Punch out. Yeah, it was.
I've only seen clips. So I don't know.
It was same thing. It was just. I've just seen documentary footage. Like it's dramas and it's weird. Like I don't know. It's a lot of stuff where men were in charge. The cast is mostly men. The woman would probably just get roughed up or have a love scene or cry. And if that's
cry and point.
Exactly. Pointing. And then get dragged into a fucking barn somewhere and assaulted by three guys.
Right.
That's not any specific movie, but most of the 70s.
There was a lot of that.
That's a woman's part in the 70s for the most part, unless you were already 60 years old and you're playing some old crone that runs a fucking boarding house. That's all you could do. Yep. That is all you could do. But anyway, so Stryper.
Meanwhile, back at Stryper. And I will say, fucking Stryper snuck up on me as a band because I didn't really. I mean, I never did listen to lyrics. Like it was never the thing. Like once I clicked into guitar, like for 20 years, I legitimately couldn't hear a bass line. I didn't listen to what the fucking drummer was doing.
Right.
All I listened to was the guitar player for years.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I clicked into that, and so I listened to Striper, and I heard this fucking they could play. Both of them play.
Yeah.
What's his name? Michael
Sweet,
the singer, and
Oz Fox.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both guitar players. And so
very good.
And I was just like, I'm going to hell with the devil. Like, I didn't care. I don't know. It's a fucking great guitar solo. Like, great. Awesome.
Yeah. There should be more discussion about that then. Because I think I've never heard anyone talk about the guitar solos in Striper songs.
Oh, no shit?
No.
Yeah.
But I heard they're a great band.
That's true too.
How good they are as musicians. I've heard people say that. But I've never heard anyone analyze what made their solos good. But,
well, comparatively, I mean, I don't know. If you go back and listen to it now compared to where we are, probably not tremendous. But, like up there in 1986, like, absolutely. Dude could play.
Yeah.
Dude could play. Yeah.
He wasn't like the George Lynch pinch harmonics, but he had a melodic solo.
They would do a lot of fucking harmony guitar stuff.
He would
like.
That didn't become popular for a little while yet.
Yeah. It was sort of Maiden was doing it.
Maiden and Priest in the early 80s, but they kind of had a lock on
it.
They did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What am I thinking? What's the band? John Sykes.
Blue Murder? No. Whitesnake.
Earlier.
Oh, Tigers of Pantang.
You're not going for Thin Lizzy, are you?
Yes, thank you. They had harmonies.
That was
right?
They did.
That was like the 70s, like early.
Absolutely.
That
was, right? That's what I'm thinking more of like when you're saying 86.
Yeah.
Who's doing guitar harmonies then that hasn't already established themselves as doing that?
Yeah, fair.
You make a good point. Because, Thin Lizzy been doing it for 10, 12 years.
So
it's like 73, 74.
Yeah.
Maiden had been doing it recorded since like 79-ish.
Yeah.
And Priest had been doing it before that on record. But the Priest harmonies were scarier. Like, you know what I mean?
They're like...
And more shrill.
More complex.
You got to consider the vocals too, because Rob Halford is like this operatic, really rich, piercing, screamy voice.
Yeah. Right.
Michael Sweet had this lilty, soft, almost feminine voice.
Yeah.
And it was
but he could still do that.
He could do the squeal, but their songs started out with like pop sensibility with heavy guitar.
Yeah.
So it appealed to a whole different crowd. Plus, they were pretty as hell, and it appealed to the girls.
Yeah.
Which
and they're out there throwing Bibles out.
They were pelting people with Bibles.
I want
like one of those T-shirt cannons.
That makes me
you look like a sinner, fucker.
I want to ask you a question that I asked Brian and Dan years ago when recording the podcast.
Yeah.
We did a Shred episode. I turned it into 3 Shred episodes.
Okay.
The amount of things Dan Teisan does not know about shred guitar would not fill a Flea's knapsack.
No.
He's got it all.
Yeah.
So I brought this question to him and Brian because Brian's also a jazzy progressive guy too.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hear your take on this. So when I was getting back into like going backwards from like who are the influences of these thrash bands I like? Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, and then to a nicer degree, I won't say lesser, but a different degree, Testament. I could really pick out how directly influenced 3 of the bands were by their influences. I didn't quite get Slayer, and I didn't catch on to them until a few years later. I really got into them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, where the fuck did this extra thing come from that they have that Megadeth doesn't have, Anthrax and Metallica don't have? Then I heard 2 things. I heard Venom's Welcome to Hell.
Oh, yeah.
And then I heard Unleashed in the East by Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Then it clicked. Then I went, that's the edge that the other bands don't have that Slayer took, and that's the most musical thing about Slayer is the Judas Priest influence. They're mostly chromatic wackiness.
Right.
And raw power and rhythm.
Yeah. But it's chaotic rhythm.
It is. Absolutely chaotic.
You could say Manowar's raw power and rhythm, and I fucking hate them.
And Raven.
But okay, that's another one that I've barely ever heard.
Yeah.
So, the question I put to Brian and Dan was, Now, having set it up with that's my sort of clue as to where this other thing came from.
Okay.
I didn't get where Satriani came from, and guys like Satriani, the instrumental guitarist of the 80s, that weren't just heavy metal. Yeah. There was something else going on there, and I think I figured it out when I heard Jeff Beck's Wired. And Truth. And then that's the extra sauce that, like, obviously Vi had the Zappa thing going on, but I hear the Jeff Beck thing and what Vi was doing as well. And I hear, but it was like other guys were either bluesier or more metal. And those two guys did a thing that that I saw influence other instrumental lead guitar players that I could only trace back to Jeff Beck. I don't know if that rings any sort of truth to you or what.
It does, but I think you have to expand it too, because Satriani is such a well-versed musician, not just in guitar music.
Yeah.
So also,
I'm also just to be clear.
Yeah.
I'm also assuming we all are gonna understand that. I also mean, yes, Jimi Hendrix influence. Yes, Michael Schenker influence.
Sure.
Yes, every guitar god that came before Satriani influenced Satriani in some way. But
like sax players.
Okay.
Satriani has a very legato style of a lot of his playing that would come
like
from
a wind instrument.
Like a wind instrument, absolutely. Like a sax player. Like Bobby, what's his name, that plays with the Stones.
Oh, Bobby Keys.
Bobby Keys.
Fucking yes. My man.
So
yeah, does that like the
yeah.
That sort of that legato thing that
also
I'm not doing very well.
The thing that horn players do that guitar players don't have to do or don't often do is what notes they land on.
Sure.
When you're playing an instrument that has these like buttons you push, and the tonic of the song is in like C or B flat or like F, because that works well with horns and keyboards and people's voices. The solos are structured differently than a guitar, where you just want to play an open position or end on an open string because it's an open string, not because
right.
You know what I mean? It's like that's like you realize like you play all this rock stuff written by guitar players and it's all E, A, D, G.
Yeah, because it's
keys, and then I. By you, I mean myself, end up like dicking around with some Oingo Boingo and Huey Lewis in the News. I'm like, there's no fucking open chords, goddammit!
No.
It's all written for horns.
Yep.
And voices, like human beings. Bullshit. What is this human beings nonsense?
The ones I always
flat,
which is
yeah.
why I respect George Lynch so much.
Yeah,
because he stays in those zones as well. He does a lot of C, a lot of F.
Yeah,
a lot of blues, a lot of bluesy songs that I think I can just pick up easily. And I just look at the tab and go, "There's no fucking open notes in this goddamn thing."
There's some complexity to it because he's got like a lot of dissonant chords that add this texture and this kind of like
that thing that.
Yep.
Dude, I'm not there with this tone.
Yeah.
There, that's better.
That's a little tighter. Yeah.
We call that "Not Bark at the Moon." That's what we call that song. No, I don't know. I don't know the right way to play it. Russ, who's looking at me right now, going, "You don't know how to play it." I don't know how to play it anymore. We did it one time, I believe. I think we did it one time.
Yeah.
And I learned it right for that one time.
And then it's like
gone.
It's drifted.
It's like every song I've ever fucking played at Porn Jam. It's gone.
It's like having to relearn how to play "Lay It Down." Like,
wait,
every time you there you go. There it is.
something like that.
Yes, very, very close.
Something like that.
That was.
But it's almost 17. It's almost.
Yeah, that is.
I control the horizontal and the vertical.
It's very weird.
Now is that coil split right now?
No.
I don't think so.
It's just
It
a little
sounds-
muzzy. It's just.
Oh, I had this down.
Yeah.
I disagree with tone knobs.
Yeah.
He does.
I do. I disagree with tone knobs in general.
I almost never use them.
Yeah. I think we had this conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but it's like,
Yeah.
Why? Do it on your amp. Do it on your fucking pedal board. Like, don't remove my options for that high end.
Just use your wah-wah pedal and just roll it off a little bit to give that throaty,
That was one of the things about last night, and
I hate to do this,
Yes.
but do you have any way to ensure that you've been recording audio this entire time?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm so paranoid because of all the times I've tried to do something like this, and I don't see any meters going.
This is the end of part 1.
Yeah. Because